Welcome to another episode of Debating is for Life. I am your host, Coach Tamer, and with us today, high school teacher extraordinaire, Ryan Corkum. Welcome, Ryan.
Thank you for having me, Tamer.
Well, thank you for joining me, and it's wonderful that we get a chance to catch up. It's been, as you said, over a decade since we've spoken face to face like this, but we have had some interactions on Facebook and in writing. But it's good to see you,
Yes,
Ryan. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. I have a lot less hair on my head than the last time we
Hey,
spoke.
you're
You
preaching to the
haven't aged.
choir. I have a lot less hair as well, although perhaps
That's
I've always
okay.
had no hair. All right. Um, One thing I got to mention is I met you at Pickering College when I was teaching there, and you were a TA or a teacher's assistant. So that's how I met you. So enthusiastic. You were jumping around, involved in almost every aspect of school life. You were really a favorite among the students, and you made a big impression, and that's how you caught my attention. Do you remember meeting me or maybe having our first conversation?
I don't remember specifically our first conversation. It was most likely in the dining hall, because that was, as you know, one of the few times during the day that we could sit down and chat at lunchtime. I
Yeah.
remember that you were a very enthusiastic, outspoken, energetic person, and that caught my attention. And I really enjoyed our chats that we had because you always had something interesting to say. And you were always very supportive of me, and you still are, and I appreciate that very much. Especially coming in as a new staff member, trying to find my way. You were one of the people who really stood out and welcomed me, and I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
you're very welcome. And to me, you were one of the special ones, and I was so excited when I heard that you finally got your teaching gig, your full-time teacher's gig. So congratulations on that. Those that school and your students are so lucky to have you. Honest to God, that's one of the reasons I took such special interest in you back in the Pickering College days, because you really are a dynamo. I hope it comes out in this episode, to do your character and your personality justice, because you are someone who's truly a unique, special gem of a person. And I also want to say, the whole time I knew you at Pickering College, I liked you in your own right. I was impressed with you in your own right. I thought you were such a wonderful guy. And I kind of got to know you and knew you through Facebook into the future. And then one day the connection was made. I said, wait a second, Ryan Corkum. Corkum. Hmm. I knew somebody named Corkum back in high school. Christine
Yep,
Corkum. There's the only other Corkum I know, but it never occurred to me to put those two thoughts together. That's your
right.
sister, Christine Corkum.
Yep.
So as fate would have it, I was good friends with your sister back in high school. You know, she was kind of gothy back then, and so her, Jennifer Knight, your sister, and I used to go suntanning during recess outside, but she would stay in the shade because she wanted to preserve her pale complexion. And I was a real big fan of your sister back in the day, and I was a big fan of yours back in the day. So there's something about the Corkums that's very endearing to me. So well done, Corkums. Okay, I want to show some pictures. I know we only have a solid hour today for this interview, so we're just going to push the pace a little bit. Who's the special little guy here, or girl?
So this is Abby. She was a German short hair pointer. The sweetest dog you could ever meet. I
Oh,
got her when she was already quite old. She was a rescue dog. She had been abandoned by her previous owner for a few weeks, and they found her. So she was in a bit rough shape, but I gave her a lot of loving. Unfortunately, she passed away a couple of years ago. But I had her for about 4 years, and it was the um, just most wonderful 4 years I could have with a dog. She was the sweetest, kindest, friendliest dog you could ever meet. And
I
she,
totally
as you can
relate.
see,
You can see it in her face, and
she
she's
enjoyed
so
my
sweet.
ukulele skills.
Yeah, and that's another thing. You learn the ukulele on quite a high level. I've seen some of your performances on Facebook, so good for you. That
Thank you.
dog looks really nice, and I can relate because I have a special sweet dog in my life, and she's old now, and we look at each other like that too. So I can completely understand the dog love. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But
Yep.
right beside this picture, the first on your profile on Facebook, we see this picture. And so recently you did a trip to
Yeah.
Italy. Tell me a little bit about that.
So that was a school trip. The school that I got employed with as a permanent teacher. This past year, I was doing an LTO, which is a long-term occasional position. So I was filling in for the year, and the school was organizing a March break trip to Italy, and they needed another chaperone. So me being me, I like to get involved. I said, yeah, I'll go to Italy. Why not? So they brought me along, and it was an incredible experience. This picture, I believe, was taken in Florence. And the funny thing is, if I don't know if how well you can see it, but in the background, there's like at least 100 people in green t-shirts, and they were doing this kind of exercise march. So they were marching down the street with loud music and swinging their arms. And
Oh,
that they came by about 10 seconds after this picture was taken. So I got out of the way just in time.
well, that's a
But I had
classic
a
shot.
great experience.
I love it.
Yeah,
And so I can see you visited the Colosseum. I was there
yeah.
too in Rome with my family, and it is quite something else to stand in the Colosseum, isn't it?
The Coliseum was the thing I was looking forward to the most for my trip, because I'm a huge fan of the movie Gladiator.
Me
And so
too.
just
That's my
yes,
favorite. I love that movie.
yes. And as this picture was taken, I kind of before it was taken, I stood there and I looked up to the sky. I said, "Are you not entertained?" Because I have to say
Maximus.
that at the Coliseum.
Maximus.
Yes,
Yeah, that's awesome.
quite
Good for
quite a
you.
spectacle. Yeah.
Yeah, Italy. When I went to Italy, we were actually driving from Austria, and we were planning to go to France. And so I had my family and my mother-in-law in the car, and I set it in the GPS, France, Paris, and somehow because it was a German GPS, I set it wrong, and while they were sleeping at night, I kept driving in the wrong direction. And of course, me being me, I never noticed. And about 8 hours later, we start seeing the signs of heading to Rome, and so I when they woke up, I said we're in Italy now, and we decided to spend a whole week in Italy instead of France, and it was awesome. It was awesome. I loved Italy.
Yeah. Well, the beautiful thing about getting lost in Europe is there's so much history and culture everywhere in that entire continent. So anywhere
That's
you
true.
go, even by mistake, it's going to be a good adventure.
Absolutely. And actually, I like traveling like that, like you said, because that the one way you never get lost is by really having nowhere to go. You just keep going around and around.
Exactly.
Anyway, I found this picture on your Facebook also that kind of to me, I don't this looks like Pickering College, but I don't think it is. It's your school probably,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But this kind of sums it up for me how I think about you, that you are so, like you said, um your character is to embrace opportunities, roll up your sleeves and get in there. I remember at Pickering College, you were on stage one time and you were doing a one-man rendition of the Backstreet Boys. And
Yeah.
the
And One
crowd
Direction.
loved it. So what was going on in this picture?
So this was um this was the week of the or actually the day of the Terry Fox run, the annual Terry Fox run. And they also made it a blue and gold day because the school colors are blue and gold. And so it was Terry Fox Day, Blue and Gold Day. And in the morning, the culinary teacher and his class provided pancake breakfast for everyone. And so I thought, okay, Blue and Gold Day, I gotta, you know, get some spirit going. It's Terry Fox Day. We gotta, get people excited. And so I put on this wig and bow tie, and they got a great reaction from the staff and the students because it's fun for me. The stuff that I do, I want to have fun at my job. I want the people around me to have fun. And so that's what I did, and it made the
Right,
day
right.
much
And
much more
I
enjoyable.
think I think you're in the perfect job for you. I really do, because you really are like such a spirited person and so fun and devoted to your profession. So that's why I say those kids in that school, I don't know if they realize how lucky they are. Anyway, a while
Thank
back,
you.
you started an endeavor, and this is another aspect of your personality that I really like and admire, and I want to do something similar. But you started this campaign, a writing campaign called the Days of Gratitude. And
Mm.
for a little while there, like every single day, you were writing kind of a paragraph to certain people that you wanted to express, your feelings towards. And so you chose a few people for every day. And how long did you keep this up?
Uh, I kept it up for, I think, about 2 weeks, I would say, consistently.
I was lucky to be the recipient of one of your entries. And so let's look at it right here. I'm gonna close this, make this a bit smaller. But yeah, this is what you wrote to me. And I was so touched to receive this. And when you really hit the nail on the head as far as I'm concerned, but it really touched my heart, and it meant a lot to me. And it also kind of brought me closer to you. And I want to know, at the end of this whole campaign, your days of gratitude, what was the effect of it? Did you have your desired effect, and how did it change you after doing this?
So the reason I did this was because it was right at the height of the COVID pandemic during the lockdown, where we couldn't go anywhere or do anything. And I know for myself, I was really struggling with the isolation and with just trying to have positive outlook on life, because as you've expressed, I'm someone who tries to get involved and have fun. And you can't do that when you're stuck at home. And so this Days of Gratitude was just my way of trying to spread some positivity to other people. As you know, we were all kind of stuck, and hopefully just brightening their days with just a few words of how I appreciate each of them. And I got a lot of positive feedback from those I was able to reach out to. I didn't get around to as many people as I wanted, and I regret that. But the ones who did receive a comment, they were very grateful, and and again, bringing that back, that made me feel better. So it went both ways,
Well,
I'm
you
glad that
you
you
inspired
appreciated
me.
it.
You inspired me, because I want to do now a campaign of actual written letter campaign, because from the good old days, it felt so good to receive a letter that somebody penned with their own hand,
Yes.
and spent that time, erased rewrote it. And when you finally receive, and it's so personal, but I want to do that now. I want to select certain people and handwrite a letter to them and send it off. So I think I'm going to pursue that idea, because it does seem very rewarding. All right, we got to move on. Ryan, are you ready for the first activity of the day?
Okay.
Yes.